Get through to the Champions League, but that aside, it's been a disappointing run of form for Spurs. A 2-0 defeat against Forest out the Carabao Cup obviously contributes to that. You know, Don, obviously you could say, well, it's only the Carabao Cup, but for Spurs, it is the possibility of silverware, which again, they won't be able to achieve.
Yeah, I think when you look at like Man City and you see what Liverpool done tonight, and they played loads of kids, there's certain teams, I think, when they're batting for Champions League, and I know Tottenham are in there, but Tottenham are a side that's not won a trophy for a million years, so you would have thought they would have gone strong. They went pretty strong playing Harry Kane. That was a gamble on Antonio Conte's part. But you'd like to think they would go strongest 11. Go strongest 11. Try and get through. Try and go 2 or 3 and up, because this is not a good Forest side. This is a really average Forest side.
It's not bad 11, Dom, when you look at it. It's not.
Sessegnon, first teamer, Højbjerg, first teamer, Skip's been in.
Back three's not.
Been
back
in.
four.
Well, Longley played at the weekend. Longley and Davies have been playing. Both been playing.
Well, in Antonio Conte's strongest 11, would he have the goalkeeper, the 3 centre-backs, Sessegnon, but Doherty, no.
That personnel should be enough to get a result against Forest.
One second. The only people that haven't really been playing recently are the goalkeeper and Sanchez and Skip. The others have all played.
Yeah.
They've all played a good amount of time. Now, you don't laugh. All right, you may. Expected goals.
Okay. That's all right. That's okay.
Stop me. Stop me.
Evolve, Craig. It's fine.
Stop.
It's fine.
0.6.
Right.
Whatever it was.
Yes.
Forgot. That's telling us.
Go ahead. I'm just waiting to see where you go with this.
It's fine. You can change your tone. It's fine.
I'm not changing my tone.
Slightly changing it. Making them as a reference to prove your point, as opposed to shouting at anyone who likes them as geeks. It's changing your tone slightly.
No. That was in a different context. Different context, right? Nerds, the lot of them. 0.6 expected goals. 2 shots on target against a Forest side who have struggled all year. When you put out a strong side, when you're one of the favourites to get in the top 4, when you have a guy who's perceived one of the best coaches in Europe, when you play Harry Kane, when you play Perisic, when you bring on Richarlison and Kulusevski and Bentancur, and they go down Forest, that is, to 10 men on 75 minutes. So there's a good 20 minutes left when you include the injury time, and we still have this. This is Tottenham over the last few weeks. It needs to take the reins off and start showing what it's all about. Have some stomach. But this is Conte, and I don't know what he said after I don't know what drivel he's come out with tonight, if any, after the game. But that's all we've heard recently. The players, the referee, it's unfair, the VAR's wrong on the offside. All these things on the periphery of what the real problem is his team's performances.
2 wins in 7.
And it speaks to who Spurs are. And along with that, I mean, not only are the results poor, but the performances have been absolutely dire. When we are talking about a team that has ambitions to finish in the top 4, we are talking about a team that's through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. It speaks for itself. Spurs are that poor. They really are that poor. That's not by accident.
Who's better, Chelsea or Spurs, Don?
That's a good question. I think Chelsea, just because I think the depth of their squad. Because I think if you take Harry Kane, Son out of their team, I think they'd struggle big time. They're not great at the back. I think on that graphic there, I think all the defeats and all the draws that they had, they conceded the first goal. I mean, that's a pattern. That's what Liverpool were doing. So that's got to change, because every time they go in at half-time, they go 1-0 behind or 2-0 behind. They've got to try and react. And somehow you do, because the lads will tell you, Dan, it's easy to play when you're 1-0 down or 2-0 down. You have a reaction. You've got to do that from the start. But to answer your question, I think it's just Chelsea.
It's Tottenham and Chelsea that give Newcastle hope.
Sure.
If I was looking from an outside perspective, and if I was a Newcastle fan, I would have hope looking at what I'm seeing from others, and the fact that, Don mentioned Harry Kane. I mean, good grief, if anything happens to him at the World Cup and he's out for a little bit, I mean, all right, that's why they signed Richarlison. So can he step up to the plate? I mean, there are just so many permutations now for this top 4, because they're all falling over each other. We thought Man United were out of the doldrums, but the last couple of games has shown that there's much work to be done there, and I agree with Don on Chelsea. I mean, I just think maybe he's overthinking it now because he's in that big job, Graham Potter, and he's scratching his head about who to play and what formation and who's going to get the best. And you know, January and the transfer window for one or two of these can't come quickly enough to try and salvage what is at the moment been a truly inconsistent season.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.